Hello to all my friends out there. Hi, you guys. I hope everyone is doing okay. So, I did a little exercise. I posted the exercise video on that I'm doing. The channel is Fabulous 50s, and she's come out with a 15-minute workout for your arms. I think I could definitely use that. I would suggest, if you're not one for a lot of exercise, to take it at your own pace. It was a little too fast for me, so I just take it at my own pace, and it's working really, really good. If you're trapped inside, you've got an exercise. It's been a month. I used to walk around the mall. That is not safe. Okay, so I'm starting this thing, and I'm making my food by the day, just enough food for the day, and then, the next day I make more food. That way I have fresh food, which is important, no wasting, which is important because, we don't want to waste. It costs less because you're not spending a lot, you're just spending enough to get food you need for that day, taking this pandemic one day at a time, and it's safer because no one's touching your food except you. So I have a little tea. I usually make about four cups, and tonight I have mint tea. Mint tea is herbal, so if you drink it at night, it's not going to keep you awake. So what I want to make is I want to make a BLT on my homemade bread. You guys saw me make it yesterday. And so for lunch, I had basically the same thing, but what I did is I stockpiled turkey meat. I mentioned to you one time, and my turkey sandwich was really good. So I want to make a BLT. So one time I was really sick, and when it got to the point where I was feeling a little bit better, I had turkey sandwiches. So what I want to make myself, and this is the bread I made out of the self-starter, and I put the recipe on Instagram, but I will put the recipes on my Twitter. Just go to Rhoda Stone Twitter. I'm trying to post the recipes on there, but as you guys know, I've done 4,000 videos. So what I'm doing is I'm just making enough bread for one day, maximum maybe 2 days. So let's see. This will make a good sandwich. So what I like to do is I like to put a little margarine on my bread. You don't have to, I just think it tastes good. You can make a bigger sandwich. Now, one of the things that I have been having a hard time finding, and this makes me nervous, is flour. Okay, I bought this flour at 99 cents only, 2.5 pounds, expires 3/31/21 for 99 cents. When I couldn't find any flour, I bought this flour for $1.50, 2 pounds, and it expires April 6, 2021. So, when you're desperate, you have a tendency to pay more, and that is not good. But one of the things you really, really don't want to run out of is flour, because if you can make bread, you are not starving. Now, at the food pantry that I went to, they gave us all kinds of bread. I don't know if that's the case in all of them. And I went to that food pantry, I got sick on January 15th, and it took me until the week before the end of January, and just before this lockdown, I went on a Tuesday, and by then people were starting to go to the pantries, and so, that was my last trip, and I thought that might happen. So here's my bacon ends. Now bacon is very, very economical, but who knows what's going to happen with the bacon, you know, now that Smithfield's has been compromised by the coronavirus. I mean, anything can happen. It's not good. So I could put my lettuce and tomato on my sandwich, or I could make a little salad to the side. And so I'm making enough for both, a little salad on the side and enough for on my sandwich. So if you guys have been following me, so what I like is either tomato or salsa. This is really good salad and it's dirt cheap. You could use tomatoes, you can grind them in the blender and you can put them on your salad, and then a little Parmesan cheese. So this is a super tasty meal. I stockpile Parmesan cheese. Oh, this is the one I bought today. I thought this was one I had in the refrigerator. Okay, so now, let me show you. So what I made is I made bread enough for one day. And today my son came over, and I like to give him a little snack after work. I've been doing this since he was a little kid. So I made, let me show you, some hamburger stew. Is this showing? And what you can do is you can make soup enough for one day, practically every day, and then you can have soup. And homemade is a lot better and it's a lot cheaper. Here it is. Can you see that? So if you had turkey, if you had peanut butter, any of those would be good. So I had my self-starter, and I made, my son came over and I sent some with him. I made rolls and I made cinnamon rolls. See, this is my tasty cinnamon roll. And those were good. That's why there's none left. Okay, so now, so you're gonna make things from scratch yourself. Things like bread, yogurt, soup, and granola. I was eating cereal in the middle of the night, and I thought, why don't you just make granola? It's easy to make. And in my oven, I have a little batch of yogurt. See, it's starting to set. So I eat about 2 cups in 2 days. And this is good now. It's not quite ready, but let me show you if you're new to it. I want to encourage you. So now on the see? You gotta make this stuff, you guys, if you want good yogurt. It's really good warm right out of the oven. But when you're making your own sourdough starter and your own yogurt, you want to keep a little yeast and yogurt in case something happens to your starter. So now, why do you want to make bread? Why bother? Just go to the store and buy some. One, you're going to get a higher quality bread for sure. But 2, what if they run out of bread? What if something horrible happens? And so you might be thinking, why worry about something horrible? Because if you wait until that something horrible happens and you don't have any flour, you're going to be in a world of hurt. So you can have bread and gravy. That is one of my personal favorites. Bread and milk. I just tear up bread. I pour powdered milk. You want to stockpile that with sugar. Sandwich and soup. That's what we have here. Cinnamon rolls. I had canned frosting in my freezer. You can keep them in the freezer. You can make pizza with your homemade bread, bread and cheese, and garlic bread. Okay, so now, the sourdough starter is no big deal. What I did was, mine had been out 3 days, so I put mine in the the refrigerator, and here it is. And so now today, what I want to do is, I want to add 1/2 cup, 1/2 cup flour. I want to show you how I do it. And 1/2 cup water. And then I want to leave it out. Now today it wasn't quite ready, and so what I did is I added 1/2 cup water to my starter because it wasn't quite ready because it hadn't been sitting 3 days. So 1/2 cup flour, 1/2 cup water. And so I just added a 1/2 cup of warm water. And a teaspoon of sugar and a teaspoon of yeast. So that's a lot less. And you want to mix this up so that it's like pancake batter. Mine's a little thin here, but that's okay. I think it's okay. And so now I put mine in the refrigerator at night after the first initial 3 days. And then I just smell it to make sure it smells okay. And so then I just, mix my starter in. And you want to mix this up really, really good. And so now, if I need another batch of bread, which I won't tomorrow, but I might the next day, I use half my starter. Then I just add 1/2 cup water and 1/2, okay, so you get the idea. I need to stir it a little bit. Here it is. So when you see the bubbles, I don't know if you can see the bubbles, but there's bubbles. That means a chemical reaction is going on. Yes, I learned that in chemistry. Not much, but I did learn that. Okay, for stockpiling, flour, sugar, honey, if you can get it. You can get these items for $1. Just point yourself in the right direction. Now this list is going to give you quite a bit of food. Flour, sugar, honey, beans, rice, powdered milk, potatoes, and rice. That way you're probably not going to starve. Okay, now, signs suggest a second virus outbreak. Internal document reveals CCP knew about virus long before public. Okay, so what they're saying, and I subscribe to this channel, China in Focus NTD. Okay, now do I believe news coming out of China? No, because I think they're a bunch of liars. But they do have to reveal some of the stuff in like an indirect way so nobody's paranoid. But last time they were about 3 months ahead of us. So that indicates we probably have about 3 months before the second wave. So that gives you 3 months. Now mind you, in California, there's no way we're getting off of this isolation. So we have to know that we're not getting off of it, basically. I think our governor is doing a good job. I mean, California is a nightmare. Anything can go wrong. We have San Francisco, we have LA, it's really bad. So I subscribe to this China in Focus NTD, and I put it on my Twitter, Rotorstone Twitter. Okay, I noticed they have changed the name of coronavirus to coronavirus COVID-19, and now it's CCP virus. Okay, so now for the hamburger stew I made, or the soup that I made, I'll be making soup you know, everywhere over the world they eat soup and bread. So just get some good cheap soup recipes. For the hamburger stew, I had 2 hamburger patties and I bought them at Kroger's, super cheap. 16 patties for $8, so 50 cents a patty. 2 hamburger patties, diced onion, 2 potatoes, I had small ones, 2 carrots, and then I bought this tomato bouillon. Now this is a good thing to stock up on if you can. This is going to help you in your soup. 2 beef bouillons and 4 cups boiling water, and then I just boiled it down. And I just fried pretty much everything together with the hamburger, and it's very tasty. Okay, so that is that. Now, I want to give you guys the recipes, and if you already have them, you can tune out. But the main one I want to give you guys tonight is the starter bread. Now, I didn't make mine exactly like this, but mine's coming out good. I only start, here it is, I only started out with a 1/2 cup flour and water. Okay, starter, soften 1 package active dry yeast in a 1/2 cup warm water. Stir in 2 cups warm water and 2 cups all-purpose flour and 1 tablespoon sugar. Beat mixture till smooth. Cover starter with cheesecloth. Let stand at room temperature till bubbly 5 to 10 days, or 2 to 3 times. Stir 2 to 3 times. If room temperature is warm, remember time will be slower than if room is cool. Cover and refrigerator starter till needed. So the way I did it only took 3 days, and if you needed it immediately, you could just add a little yeast water and sugar. But this is a good recipe and I couldn't find it. Okay, so now let me give you my starter recipe. Here's the way I did it. This has been going on, but this is really important so that if you have flour and sugar, or honey or molasses, you're always going to be able to make bread. And then here's my homemade yogurt. And what I do is when I make the bread, I use half of the starter, leaving me half. And I pretty much keep my starter in the refrigerator. Now tonight I will leave it out, but tomorrow probably I'll take a look at it and maybe I'll put it in the refrigerator. Okay, you guys, what we have to do is we got to stay level-headed, and we got to make sure we don't starve. The bacon-ins are really cheap, but who knows how long we're going to be able to get bacon if it's all infected. Just start preparing. I usually buy 1 or 2. Just continuously buy 1 or 2 extra items, and make a list of the things they were short on, and try to buy 1 or 2 items like toilet paper. Okay, you guys, please like, comment, and subscribe, and God bless you all.